What kills a lone wolf? Not hunger, not claws. You can't copy Sigma mentality. Sigmas reject the kingdom and build his own. You can see this as a second part of the video saying, 5 actions that prove you're not a Sigma. You'll find no howling at moons here, no posturing, just 8 raw traits that separate who submit to the wild from those who become it. And an important advice. We'll start at the surface level and go into a deep dive. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Number 1. They don't chase money. Have you ever noticed how desperately some people chase wealth, yet it seems to elude them? Meanwhile, others appear magnetically attractive to abundance without visible strain or effort. This is no accident, but rather a manifestation of an ancient psychological principle. The first trait we encounter in the genuine Sigma mindset is a paradoxical relationship with material wealth. While most individuals strain against the current, chasing money with desperation written across their features, the Sigma stands apart through a fundamentally different orientation toward prosperity. Money responds to the Sigma not because they obsessively pursue it, but precisely because they refuse to be enslaved by its pursuit. This isn't mere indifference. It's a profound detachment that comes from understanding wealth as a tool rather than an identity. Their decisive nature creates clear pathways where resources naturally flow, like water finding its course down a mountain path. Psychology says personal fulfillment of money peaks at kind of $500,000 a year. Sigmas often work on that. They work with a vision, not just mere money. A prime example is Elon Musk, or our philanthropist, Mr. Beast. This financial sovereignty aligns perfectly with their core need for independence. Unlike those who measure their worth through accumulation, the Sigma measures prosperity through freedom. They provide for those they care about, not from obligation, but from a place of chosen responsibility and genuine care. Consider how differently this manifests compared to the conventional money chaser. While others frantically climb ladders that often lead nowhere, the Sigma builds systems that work in their absence. They aren't performing wealth, they're embodying prosperity as a natural extension of their decisive character and clear priorities. This trait cannot be mimicked because it emerges from genuine inward security rather than external validation. Those attempting to fake it inevitably reveal their hunger, which repels the very abundance they seek to attract. Number 2. The meaningful quiet. Do you ever find yourself exhausted by people who fill every silence with empty words? Have you noticed how the most profound insights often come from those who speak least, but observe most? The second unmistakable trait of genuine Sigma character isn't simple silence, it's purposeful observation. They're not passive like Omegas, they're observant and good listener. And as a byproduct, they're silent. What appears as quietness to the casual observer is actually an intense form of presence, rarely found in our distraction-filled world. Their silence isn't a void, it's filled with the rich texture of genuine attention, unlike the social performers like betas or alphas who needs constant validation through speech. The Sigma's quiet stems from a deep well of self-sufficiency. They don't speak to fill space or ease discomfort. They speak when words have actual purpose. This selective communication carries weight, precisely because it emerges from a place of careful consideration rather than social anxiety or performance. Consider how different this is from the fake mysterious persona many try to adopt. The pretender remains silent to appear deep, while the genuine Sigma observes to actually understand. One is performing, the other is processing. The difference becomes immediately apparent the moment each finally speaks. This observational quality creates a natural depth that can't be manufactured. They absorb the energies, motivations, and patterns of others, creating internal maps of human behavior that serve them far better than any manipulative technique could. Their insights don't come from books or videos on how to read people. They emerge naturally from patient, present witnessing. This trait cannot be imitated because genuine observation requires something increasingly rare: the ability to be fully present without seeking immediate social reward. It requires comfort with one's own thoughts and the patience to let understanding develop naturally rather than forcing. Number 3. The Authentic Wit. Ever noticed how some people try so hard to be funny, while others effortlessly draw genuine laughter with just a few well-placed words? Have you wondered what makes the difference between forced humor and natural? The third uncommon trait of the Sigma mindset is their distinct brand of humor. A sharp, timely wit that cuts through pretense, yet never desperately seeks approval. No one literally talks about it, unlike the social performer like alphas, who uses humor as a constant charm offensive. The Sigma's comedic timing emerges organically from their honest perspective on life's absurdities. Their humor isn't about dominating a room or becoming the center of attention. It's a precision instrument, deployed sparingly but with devastating accuracy. When they speak at gatherings, their observations often carry the weight of truth wrapped in the disarming package of humor. A single comment can shift the entire energy of a conversation, not because they're trying to be memorable, but because they're simply expressing what others see but hesitate to name. This authentic wit serves multiple purposes. It establishes boundaries when needed. The Sigma can deflate disrespect with surgical precision, often leaving the offender unsure exactly how they've been outmaneuvered. It's like a hidden blade, short and sharp, yet it also creates genuine connection when appropriate. What makes this humor impossible to fake is its foundation in genuine perception rather than performance. The pretender studies jokes and timing. The Sigma simply notices what others miss. The former tries to be funny. The latter simply expresses their authentic perspective, finding humor in the gap between appearance and reality. This natural wit reflects a mind that processes the world differently, seeing patterns, contradictions, and ironies that escape conventional thinking. It cannot be imitated because it springs from a place of genuine insight rather than social neediness. The moment someone tries to manufacture this quality, the strain of the performance becomes immediately apparent. Number 4. The Architect of Fate. Amor fati, the love of fate. They will accept what comes in their way, good or bad, but using resilience to get back to feet. They don't just cry over the fate. Reflection to identify what they did wrong, and using premeditatio malorum to plan ahead. What divides a wanderer from a navigator? Both tread the same earth, but one follows trails while the other carves them. The Sigma does not drift, he maps the unseen. Imagine a chess grandmaster, 3 moves ahead, not merely reacting to the board, but sculpting it. Life for him is not a series of accidents. It's a labyrinth he designed. Sigma males treat time as clay, not sand. They mold it with intent. Modern society glorifies going with the flow, but rivers drown those who cannot swim. The Sigma builds dams. Cognitive studies on proactive behavior by Oettingen in 2014 reveal that envisioning future scenarios activates the brain's planning centers, fostering resilience. Yet most cling to reactivity, mistaking chaos for freedom. The Sigma knows better. To plan is to defy entropy, a rebellion against life's chaos. Consider the Stoic premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Seneca advised, "Fortune falls heavily on those for whom she's unexpected." The Sigma lives this, while others panic at storms. He adjusts his sails before the wind shifts. A farmer does not curse drought, he stores rain. This isn't paranoia, it's pragmatism. The Sigma's plans are not rigid scripts, but fluid frameworks, adaptable yet unyielding in purpose. But here's the lie. Many confuse planning with control. They scribble schedules, yet crumble when life erases their ink. The Sigma's strategy is subtler. He plans like a spider weaves a web, thread by thread, each strand a contingency. A 2021 study on decision fatigue found that habitual planners preserve mental bandwidth, freeing them to act decisively when stakes are high. The Sigma conserves his focus for battles worth fighting. Yet this trait cannot be borrowed. You cannot mimic the foresight of a man who sees tomorrow in today's shadows. Trying to replicate it is like tracing a shadow. It vanishes when the light shifts. The Sigma's plans are rooted in acceptance. Some storms cannot be avoided, but none need catch him barefoot. So ask yourself, when did I last plant seeds for a forest I'll never see? Not as a daydream, but as a legacy. The Sigma's path is not for the hurried. It's for those who kneel in the dirt today, knowing orchards grow from patience. Strategy isn't about winning, it's about refusing to lose. A compass points north, but the Sigma becomes north. While others chase luck, he becomes the gravitational pull that bends it. Number 5. The steel thread. When was the last time you spoke without apology? The Sigma does not demand respect. He commands it with the quiet force of a blade slicing water. Imagine a katana, sharp enough to cut silk, yet sheathed until needed. This is the Sigma's assertiveness. Precision, not noise. Sigma males understand what most miss. Aggression is weakness in disguise. A 2018 study on workplace dynamics by Ames et al. Found that assertive individuals gain influence without resentment, while aggressors breed silent resistance. The Sigma embodies this balance. He speaks not to dominate, but to clarify. Like a blacksmith tempering steel, he knows heat must be controlled, or it destroys the craft. Consider the Stoic hegemonicon, the mind's command center. Epictetus warned, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak." The Sigma listens not to comply, but to comprehend. When he responds, his words carry the weight of a judge's gavel. Final, fair, unclouded by ego. A lion doesn't roar to prove its royalty, it hunts. But here's the deception. Many conflate assertiveness with volume. They mimic confidence through interruptions or grand gestures. The Sigma's power is subtler. His no is a closed door, not a slammed fist. Neuroscience reveals that calm assertiveness activates prefrontal regulation, bypassing the amygdala's fight-or-flight chaos. The Sigma navigates conflict like a surgeon, steady hands, colder steel. Yet this trait cannot be worn like a costume. Trying to fake it is like shouting into a canyon. The echo betrays your emptiness. The Sigma's resolve stems from a truth most fear. You cannot control others, only your integrity. A mountain doesn't argue with the wind, it stands. So ask yourself, when did I last hold a boundary without guilt? Not as defiance, but as devotion to self. The Sigma's path rejects the theater of dominance. He needs no audience to validate his stance. Picture 2 men in a debate. One sweats, red-faced, spitting words like bullets. The Sigma leans back, eyes unblinking, and dismantles the argument with 3 syllables. His strength isn't just in winning, it's in ending the game. Aggression is a sledgehammer. Assertiveness, a scalpel. To speak softly is not to yield. It's to conserve fire for battles that matter. The Sigma knows true authority needs no applause. It exists, like gravity, unseen, undeniable, bending worlds without a sound. Number 6. The Unshaken Core. What separates a stone from a mountain? Both are made of earth, yet one crumbles under pressure, while the other shapes the horizon. The Sigma does not avoid emotion, he masters its tides. Picture a man standing at the edge of a storm. The wind howls, rain lashes, yet his breath remains steady. This is not indifference, it is the quiet sovereignty of a mind that sees emotion as weather, passing, inevitable, but never the compass. Sigma males navigate life's chaos with a surgeon's precision. They do not lack feeling, they simply refuse to let it steer. Imagine 2 wolves fighting inside you. One is fear, clawing for control. The other is reason, silent but unyielding. The Sigma feeds the second wolf. Studies in cognitive psychology reveal that emotional decision-making activates the amygdala, the primal brain, while logic engages the prefrontal cortex. The Sigma's strength lies in bridging these realms, not by suppressing emotion, but by deposing its tyranny. Consider the ancient Stoics, who likened the mind to a fortress. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Sigma embodies this. When others drown in doubt or rage, he anchors himself in prohairesis, the Stoic art of choice. He asks, "Does this serve my purpose?" Not coldness, but clarity. A tree does not rage when lightning strikes. It uses the fire to shed dead branches. But here lies the trap. Many mistake this calm for apathy. They mimic the Sigma's stillness, yet inside, their minds are tempests. True emotional resilience isn't a mask. It's a muscle forged in solitude. Modern culture glorifies reactivity, equating outbursts with passion. The Sigma rejects this. His power is in response, not reaction. A chess player does not weep over a lost pawn. He adapts his strategy. Yet this trait cannot be stolen. You cannot fake the peace of a man who has stared into life's abyss and found his reflection unbroken. Trying to replicate it is like painting flames on ice. It melts under the first true test. The Sigma's decisions are rooted in a soil few dare to till. The acceptance that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. So ask yourself, when did I last choose logic over fear? Not as a performance, but as a practice. The Sigma's path is not for the crowd. It is for those willing to walk alone, guided not by the heart's noise, but the mind's North Star. Number 7. He is not a paper tiger. Have you ever felt the weight of invisible chains, social expectations, and cultural programming that subtly restrict your movements through life? Do you sense there's a freer way to exist, but struggle to break? The Sigma character is fundamentally limitless, a quality that transcends mere rebellion. While many mistake this for simple nonconformity, the true essence runs much deeper. You might know this as a Zeta trait. This isn't about opposing society's rules for the sake of opposition. It's about a genuine inability to perceive arbitrary boundaries as real constraints. The Sigma moves through life with a quiet understanding that most limitations exist primarily in the mind. Where others see walls, they perceive doorways, or simply walk around structures others believe to be impenetrable. This boundless quality manifests not as loud defiance, but as a calm certainty that they are the authors of their own existence. What makes this trait impossible to counterfeit is its foundation in genuine self-trust rather than external validation. The pretender breaks rules to be seen breaking them, seeking recognition for their courage. The authentic Sigma often doesn't even register these invisible lines until they've already crossed them, following their internal compass, rather than performing freedom for an audience. This limitlessness stems from a profound inner security. They've confronted their fears and discovered most are paper tigers. Impressive from a distance, but insubstantial when challenged directly. Having done this inner work, external intimidation loses its power. Those attempting to imitate this quality inevitably reveal their underlying insecurity. True fearlessness cannot be faked because its absence manifests in subtle tells. Hesitation where none should exist, overcompensation where confidence would be quiet, seeking approval for actions that need no validation beyond their own truth. Number 8. The Alchemist's Spirit. Have you ever watched someone transform apparent disaster into unexpected opportunity? Have you wondered what internal resources allow certain individuals to face collapse with a curious smile rather than despair? A remarkable trait of the Sigma character is their natural alchemy with adversity, a capacity to transmute life's lead into personal gold, shifting the game into your favor. This isn't mere resilience or positive thinking. It represents a fundamentally different relationship with challenge itself. Where others see obstacles as punishment or bad luck, the Sigma recognizes them as necessary catalysts for growth. This transformative capacity stems from a rare perspective. They view life not as something happening to them, but through them. Trials aren't external impositions to be endured, but essential elements of their personal evolution. When facing setbacks that would devastate others, They exhibit a curious calm, not from detachment, but from profound engagement with life's deeper patterns. Consider how differently this manifests compared to those merely pretending strength. The imitator adopts some YouTube videos on this, maybe even some social media groups, and maintains a rigid facade. But beneath this performance lies brittle resistance. The authentic Sigma possesses a genuine flexibility that bends without breaking, absorbing pressure and converting it to momentum. Their relationship with challenge isn't one of gritted teeth and clenched fists. Instead, they approach difficulty with openness, asking what this particular obstacle has come to teach them. This stance creates a paradoxical power. By surrendering to reality rather than fighting it, they gain the clarity needed to transform it. This trait cannot be fabricated because it emerges from accumulated wisdom rather than theoretical understanding. It requires having walked through fire and discovered oneself unburned, a lived experience no performance can replicate. Those attempting to fake this quality inevitably reveal themselves when genuine pressure mounts, as their carefully constructed persona crumbles under weights the authentic Sigma carries with grace. The bonus one. Human mind is like water. It takes the shape of its container. Ralph Waldo Emerson. When did solitude become a mask for pain? The Sigma archetype is a sanctuary for many, especially those with fractured pasts, toxic families, betrayals, systems that failed them. They retreat into the Sigma's silhouette, mistaking isolation for strength. This isn't weakness, it's survival. But here's the razor's edge. A shelter can become a cage if you weld the door shut. Sigma males understand solitude as a choice, not a sentence. Modern psychology reveals a stark divide. Trauma-induced isolation activates the brain's threat response, while chosen solitude fosters creativity and clarity. The Sigma's strength lies in discerning the difference. He doesn't hide from the world, he curates it. A sword isn't forged by avoiding fire, but by mastering it. Consider Elon Musk. He's a prime example of a Sigma. He leads empires, jokes on Twitter, a successful businessman, a charming playboy, a father, and now became the Trump's friend. Sigma isn't about rejecting connection, it's rejecting compulsion. The Alpha seeks followers, the Beta craves acceptance. The Sigma engages only where minds or missions align. A 2020 study on social selectivity found that high-agency individuals maintain smaller networks but deeper bonds, quality over noise. But here's the poison. Many cloak their unhealed wounds in Sigma rhetoric. "I don't need people" becomes a mantra for bitterness, not wisdom. They romanticize loneliness, mistaking emotional detachment for power. The Sigma archetype, when weaponized as a coping mechanism, breeds not resilience, but rot. A tree that refuses sunlight still dies, even if it calls itself a mountain. The Stoics warned of this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you wear solitude as armor against trauma, it will rust into your skin. True Sigma energy isn't born from fear of people, it's forged in self-sufficiency. So profound connection becomes optional, not threatening. So ask yourself, is my solitude a sanctuary or a sarcophagus? The Sigma doesn't hate socializing, he simply refuses to dance for crumbs. He'll charm a room, then leave without a backward glance. His power isn't in avoiding others, it's in being unmoved by their absence. Beware those who sell you antisocial edginess as Sigma. Wisdom, the cornerstone of true Sigmas, is knowing the difference between guarding your peace and burying your humanity. A lion doesn't fear the herd, it ignores what doesn't serve its hunt. Sigma isn't a crutch for broken legs. A man who confuses trauma responses for strength is not a Sigma, he's a ghost. The real Sigma walks through fire, not away from it. His solitude isn't empty, it's electric with purpose. If you want to be a Sigma, don't just mimic the silence, cultivate a reason for it. You must understand the decisiveness, power, and aura of the crown. A closed door isn't power. Power is knowing you can open it anytime. This is the end of this video. Now the storm is here. Will you wear solitude as armor or alchemy? Poll your life. Do you socialize less out of disinterest or distrust? Does your resilience come from growth or gritted teeth? When money or respect finds you, is it because you chased it or because you became someone it couldn't ignore? Sigma path isn't about rejecting society. It's about refining your role in it. Elon Musk tweets memes, launches rockets, and dines with critics, not because he craves approval, but because he's mastered the art of engagement without enslavement. You can't heal in the same soil that poisoned you, but you can replant yourself. Sigma isn't just a label, it's a litmus test. The father, grinding in silence, the artist ignoring applause, the leader who builds empires with charm. They don't act Sigma, they breathe it. Ask yourself, is my silence a sanctuary or a scar? When I walk into a room, do I count exits or friends? Have you ever called loneliness Sigma to avoid healing? The comments aren't for hot takes, they're for truth. What's yours? Pause and comment. Thanks for watching.